Sasa ndugu zangu wane, ladies and gentlemen, na wakaribisha tena kwenye kipindi chetu pendwa. Sasa leo tutaangalia Vingereza vya marais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Vingereza vya marais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Alafu utaniandikia comment hapo chini uniambie kati ya hawa marais wa Tanzania, rais yupi ambaye ameupiga mwingi kwenye Kiingereza. Sasa sitaki kukuchosha na we usinichoshe sana mimi. Sitaki kukupotezea muda na we usinipotezee sana mimi muda. Hebu twende tukaone moja kwa moja hivi Vingereza vya marais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Nikianza na rais wa kwanza Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. Kura chuma hicho.
Sometimes I get annoyed, but sometimes I don't get annoyed. Here I am, former president of my country, no problem in Tanzania. We've never had these problems that they have. But I'm an African, and they see me, and they ask me the problems of Rwanda. I said, but I don't come from Rwanda. But you come from Africa.
What's the difference?
But I don't meet everybody. I don't meet an Englishman somewhere. If Blair was to come to Dar es Salaam, I don't ask him what is happening in Bosnia. It never occurs to me. I should ask Blair, what is happening to you Europeans because of what is happening in If President Cole was to come somewhere, I don't ask.
Aya, sasa twende tukaangalie rais wa pili, Ali Hassan Mwinyi. Kura chuma hicho.
They realized that we are not against only the three enemies left to us by President Nyerere. That is poverty,
Literacy.
Illiteracy, and disease. But now we have a fourth enemy, and that is hunger. We must do something about hunger. And the best thing to do is to produce our own food. And so now, agriculture is number one priority, along with the three others. And because of that,
Haya, sasa twende tukaangalie Kiingereza cha rais wa awamu ya tatu, Benjamin Mkapa. Kura chuma hicho.
We want an Africa, as you said, where there is equality of gender, equality of opportunity, promise of a good, healthy life, promise of an educated society, promise of a leadership that thinks more about service than being served. We want all of that, borders to be removed and so on. Why don't we have it? My answer is very clear. Because you have a selfish leadership. Extremely selfish. We often think of the problem of leadership as being the problem of the leaders alone. Fine. They must be defined, have integrity, have all those we want. But to succeed, they must be able to implant those attributes in the population. Their political parties must be organized in such a way that they reflect those values and embody those aspirations in their political interaction. If they don't, you have trouble. We are multi-ethnic societies. What basic values have we embodied in these societies? Equality? Or is it diversity? How do you convert diversity into strength rather than diversity?
Haya, sasa twende tukaangalie Kiingereza cha rais wa awamu ya 4, Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete. Kura chuma hicho.
Let me begin by apologizing for not being able to attend in person to officiate this important event. This is due to conflicting engagements. But I thank Jonathan's understanding and cooperation to allow me to speak to you this way.
Haya, tukaangalie rais wa awamu ya 5 John Pombe Magufuli. Kura chuma hicho.
The transport between Kome and Nyakaliro was very bad. That's why you can see a lot of people there just celebrating, enjoying the outcome of this CCM manifesto. I'm sure you don't want to hear that, but that is the reality.
Okay, what would you say is the situation regarding infrastructure in Tanzania 50 years after independence?
Of course, in 1961, the issue of infrastructure, it was very bad. We used to have only 1,300 kilometers tarmac road. Now we have more than 60,500 kilometers network for the whole country of 949,000 square kilometers. But as well, we are now constructing more than 11,154 kilometers country-wise to be in tarmac roads. So you can see it yourself that there is a lot of improvement as far as infrastructure is concerned.
Do you think Tanzania will make a good way regarding development in the coming years? So what are the main problems?
That is obvious because after all, we used to depend on development donors as far as infrastructure is concerned.
Sasa twende tukaangalie rais wa awamu ya 6 ambaye ni rais wa sasa Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan. Tukaangalie Kiingereza chake. Kura chuma hicho.
Excellencies, heads of state and governments, Your Excellency Secretary General of the United Nations, Your Excellency Executive Director of UNAIDS, ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all. This year marks 40 years since the first case of AIDS was reported in the world. It was not just an announcement, but a beginning of 4 decades to follow, of despair, pain, progress, and hope. Many lives have been lost and many others have been saved. It marks 38 years since the first AIDS case in Tanzania. We are glad to report that there has been impressive progress and many gains. HIV/AIDS, by far and large, is no longer a death sentence in Tanzania as it used to be 38 years ago. Allow me to share with you some of the important milestones in our fight against HIV/AIDS. We have increased HIV/AIDS testing from 61% in 2016 to 83% in 2019. We have recorded an increase in the use of ARVs from 94% in 2016 to 98% in 2019. The viral suppression has increased from 87% in 2016 to 92% in 2019. The AIDS-related deaths have steadily declined from the highs of 64,000 deaths per year in 2010 to a low as 32,000 deaths in 2020.
Haya, sasa tupige kura. Uniandikie comment hapo chini uniambie kati ya hawa marais, rais yupi ambaye ameupiga mwingi kwenye Kiingereza? Rais yupi ambaye Kiingereza chake kimenyooka? Mimi nitapita kuhesabu kura na tutatangaza mshindi ni nani. Usisahau kulike, kushare, kucomment na kusubscribe akaunti yetu ya Ndui Media. Asanteni sana.